Thank you for watching part 1 of our video user manual for our digital study model service. When you receive your first set of digital study models from us, you will receive a disk and a user's manual. The disk will contain the viewing software to download and 2 videos. The first video will be the one that you're currently watching on how to download the software and set up your patient folders. The second video is a tutorial on how to view the models in the software and the many benefits and features the new version has to offer. Let's get started setting up your computer so you can begin viewing your digital study models. Before we get started installing the software, please understand that your computer may have a different operating system than the one I'm using to demonstrate on this video. The basic steps are the same, but they may vary depending on your computer. The first thing that you're going to want to do is install the viewing software on this computer. So you're going to insert the disk into the computer. If your disk drive can't find a disk, your disk drive may be bad. Try the disk on a different computer to make sure that the files are indeed on the disk and that you can open it. You may get this message, which allows you to open it directly from here. If you don't, then you may need to go down to the Start menu and go to your computer and find the disk that way. But since we got the message here, let's go ahead and open it up. And by double-clicking on it, the Ortho Viewer, you'll start to install it. And the disk will automatically be installed on your computer as the application starts to open up here. And it just takes a second for it to get up and running. It's a simple installation process, so it shouldn't be any big deal. So you're going to get you may get this message which asks to have your permission to install it, and go ahead and click yes. And then you're going to get the disk viewer itself. And so you're just going to want to follow through. You can read through the information here, but you're going to install the viewer, so hit next. And then you're going to have the option to decide which extensions that you want to open up or be able to use, and go ahead and select all 3 of them. That way you'll have plenty of options and won't be restricted by the type of files you get. And the Ortho Viewer will get going and install it, and once it's completed the installation and you see the 2 check marks here, you can click Finish and you're all done. You can see that the icon is installed on your desktop, so you can open up the viewing software directly from your desktop anytime that you want. There are a couple more steps that you need to do in order to actually view your models, but this is a good start. You can install this viewer on as many of your computers as you want. If you have a network or practice management software in your practice, your IT professional should be able to help you install it so it appears on all your computers in your practice. At this point, go ahead and close down or minimize the screen and get back to the desktop so we can move on to the next step. When you receive your digital study models back from us for your individual patients, we'll either have emailed the files to you or copied them to a disk and mailed them to you. Regardless of how you receive them, you may want to save them on your computer so you have easier access to them. To do this, you'll need to copy the files to a folder first in order to open them in the viewing software. So in order to set this up, you'll need to follow these steps. Once you're at the desktop like this, come down to the Start menu, go up and click on Documents, and then anywhere in this menu, go ahead and right-click to bring up this menu, come down to New, then go up and select Folder, and this is going to give you a new folder, and you're going to want to name it, and I suggest you name it Digital Models so that you can remember where you put everything, and then you can copy all those files into there. Whenever you get an email or a disk with your patient's digital models on it, then you'll need to copy that information into this folder. You may want to create folders inside the folder for each individual patient. So let's go through that process. You just come to Digital Models and left click it twice, and that will open up the folder. And anywhere in this area, again, you want to right click to bring up the menu, hit New, select Folder, And this is where you're going to want to type in your patient's name for the digital models. So just type that in and click enter, and then you can store all of that patient's digital models into that folder. This will make it easier for you to access it. Now you're ready to copy your digital models into this folder. Let me show you how to do this from an email and from a disk. We're going to start with a disk. If you receive your models back from us on a disk, you want to load that disk into the computer just like you did the installation disk. And when you do that, you should get this message that pops up. If you don't, then go ahead and go through the Start menu to find the disk on your computer and open it up that way. But if you have this message, go ahead and click to open up the files to view them. And you're going to see the patient's name with the folder where the files are stored. And just double click on that. And then there'll be an attachment, and you want to double click on that. And this will open up the attachments. And you're going to see we save these models individually. So you have a file with the upper model and a file for the lower model. And you can view these directly from here, but I suggest that you go ahead and save them. So what you're going to do is left click on the first model, and then hold down the shift bar and move the mouse and left click on the second model file. And once those are both highlighted, then go ahead and right click on the highlighted area, press copy, then come over here to Documents and open that up, and come down to Digital Models where your folders are. And here you can see the folder for that patient is right here, and you want to open that up. And since we don't have any other models in there, this folder's empty. So go ahead and right click on here to bring this menu up and click Paste, and the files will be copied over to this folder, so you'll be ready to go. So this is all you need to do to copy them from the disk onto your computer into the folder that we set up. And so once you're ready to view them, you can open up the software viewer that we installed earlier and come in and find the models for this patient and view them that way. Next, we're going to look at how to save email copies to your computer. If we've emailed the models to you, you're going to need to follow these instructions in order to copy them from the email onto your computer. You cannot open the email directly and view the models because they're in a zipped format. So when we email them to you, go ahead and open up the email and then come down and open up the attachments. And you'll see the two sets of models here, so you're going to want to copy them. So select the first one, hold down the Shift button, select the second one, right click and copy them. Come over to Documents and find your digital models, find the folder with the patient's information, then right click and hit Paste. And from that, the models will be copied from your email onto your computer so that you can view them. Now we're going to go through how to open the viewer and view the models. Now that you've saved your model files to your computer, you're ready to open up the viewing software and view them. So from your desktop, you want to come up to the icon for the viewer and double click on that, and this will open up the viewer. And then come over to this picture of a file and click on that, and your models should come up here on this menu. If they don't, then you may need to search for them in your Documents folder somewhere else on the computer. But go ahead and click on the first model, and that'll open it up and give you a message that says that the computer has found an opposing model and ask if you want to load it, and go ahead and click Yes. And when you do that, the models will be loaded up onto the computer, and now you're ready to view them, zoom in and out, measure them, whatever you want to do with them. So this will get you started, and I hope you enjoyed listening to part 1 of this video series on the viewing software. In part 2, I'm going to explain more on how to use the viewer and the features and benefits that it offers. So be sure to watch part 2 so you can use this software to its fullest potential. Again, thank you for watching part 1, and I hope you'll continue by watching part 2.